can a soul truly return? I mean, can memory actually cross that line between death and birth and then years later pop up in the voice of a little kid?
It sounds dramatic, yeah.
Okay.
But today, we're not really talking philosophy, are we?
No, not at all. We're looking at, well, facts. Specific documented details from this one case. It's so strange it made even, hardcore scientific types stop and really wonder.
It really forces you to look at realities we usually just, well, ignore. If you take away all the belief systems, what's left is this story, the evidence.
The story of the 3-year-old boy often called the boy who knew too much.
Exactly.
And that's our mission today. We're doing a deep dive into the source material around this case. It started in a small village near the Golan Heights in Syria.
Right.
We want to unpack how this thing unfolded, how a child's apparent nightmare turned into essentially a solved murder case, a 4-year-old cold case.
You have to start right at the beginning because the shock is immediate. We're talking about a kid just 3 years old.
Tiny.
Yeah, tiny. He starts waking up at night, not just crying like kids do from nightmares, but genuinely terrified, shaking.
And what he kept saying, whispering to his parents.
I remember how I died. Just think about hearing that from your 3-year-old.
Oh, gosh, I can't even imagine. Your first reaction has to be denial, right? It's a nightmare, a phase. Maybe he heard something.
Absolutely. That's what the sources show. The parents thought, okay, vivid imagination. But his story wasn't vague. It was consistent, insistent.
He started saying the name they gave him wasn't his real name.
Yeah, and that his life wasn't really there, in that house, with them. He claimed he'd lived before in another village nearby.
Okay, but this is different from a kid saying he's, I don't know, a dinosaur or something.
Totally different. He was claiming a past life that ended violently. Gruesomely, actually. Not fantasy, but a specific dark history.
Wait, okay, let's pause here. The big question mark is always parental influence, right?
Yeah.
Could they have known something about a missing person? Fed him details, even subconsciously?
That's the critical piece, and it's why the sources really focus on the boy's consistency before anyone else got involved. The parents, at first, they tried to stop it.
They wanted it to go away.
Of course, they wanted a normal kid, not proof of reincarnation. But he wouldn't drop it. And the details he gave, they came from him. It wasn't just being scared. It was this memory of being murdered with an axe.
And he gave them that first piece of, forensic detail before anyone was even thinking about investigation.
He did. He'd touch his own forehead, just instinctively, right above his eye. And he'd say softly, "This is where he hit me."
Wow.
That specificity, the weapon, the exact spot of the injury, that's what made it impossible for the parents to just brush it off as fantasy.
If he just said, I fell or something vague.
Right, that's one thing. But an axe to the forehead, above the eye, that's a narrative, a specific claim.
It sounds like it just became this unbearable weight for them, his persistence. That was the turning point.
Yeah. He cried, he insisted, he begged them, "Take me to my old village." You can almost feel their desperation. Eventually, they gave in.
You have to put yourself in their place, driving to this other village, probably just hoping the whole thing fizzles out, proves him wrong.
Absolutely. Risking looking like fools in front of neighbors, maybe relatives, all based on what their 3-year-old keeps saying.
Okay, so picture this journey. The tension in that car must have been immense. They get to the other village.
Right. And they're looking for a house based on a toddler's supposed memory.
The sources say the boy, when they arrived, he just went quiet. Scanned the houses, face pale, concentrating.
It must have been agonizing for the parents, watching their little boy suddenly become the guide in this trauma that happened before he was even born.
And then he stopped, pointed to one particular house.
And just said, simple as anything, "I used to live there."
Yeah.
The certainty. It's chilling.
By now, people must be noticing, right? A strange family arrives, the kid points at a house. Whispers probably start flying. Maybe people remembered someone missing from that house years ago.
Exactly. The village is small. People likely knew something wasn't right, that someone had vanished. But then came the real bombshell, the confrontation.
He points out the house, and then
Then the boy looks around again. His eyes land on one man standing near the village well. Just a guy.
And he points again.
Points right at him.
Yeah.
And declares, loud enough for people to hear, "That man, he killed me."
Oh my God, that's the moment everyone should have just burst out laughing, right? Or gotten angry, called it a horrible prank.
You'd think so. But the sources are clear about the man's immediate reaction. The accused man.
What happened?
He froze. Instantly. Face just drained of color. Crowd went silent, yeah. But it wasn't because they thought it was funny. It was shock. They saw his reaction.
It was like watching, I don't know, a confession without words. His body language gave it away.
It seemed like it. His reaction wasn't denial or anger. It was this pure physical shock,
Right.
like being caught completely off guard by the impossible.
Because let's be skeptical for a second. Maybe this guy was known trouble. Maybe the missing person had enemies, and the kid just picked the obvious local suspect. A really, really lucky guess.
A staggeringly lucky guess, if so. But that's the thing. The boy wasn't done. He had more evidence to offer. He provided the anchor.
What did he do?
He turned away from the man he just accused and said, I can show you where my body is buried.
Whoa, okay, that changes everything.
Totally. This takes it from a bizarre accusation to, okay, let's see the proof, forensic fact-finding, led by a 3-year-old.
Think about that. A kid who couldn't possibly know the local geography, let alone a secret burial spot from 4 years ago.
So they follow him out of the village proper, up onto this rocky, kind of unremarkable hill nearby. He leads them straight to one spot, points down.
And says the improbability is just mind-boggling.
Right. So they start digging. And it doesn't take long. Minutes, maybe. They hit something. Bones. A human skeleton.
Okay, even finding anybody there by chance, led by a toddler, is basically impossible odds.
Exactly. The chance of him randomly picking a spot on some random hill and finding human remains is near zero. But then came the clincher.
They found the skull.
They found a skull. And it had this deep, sharp crack in it. A fracture.
And where was the crack?
Not just anywhere. Not the back of the head, not the side. It was precisely where the little boy had been touching his own forehead. Right above the eye.
Come on. That alignment, the story he told and the physical proof, that basically rules out coincidence, doesn't it?
It stretches coincidence to the absolute breaking point, yeah. You've got a 3-year-old describing the weapon and axe, the manner of death, the exact fatal wound location.
And then leads them to the physical evidence that confirms all three. It's incredible.
At this point, obviously, the local police, the investigators, they get called in.
And you check their records.
They check the records. And sure enough, a man had gone missing from that village 4 years earlier, which was, crucially, a year before this little boy was even born.
So the investigation was basically solved by the child. The body was found. The timeline fit.
And the man, the one standing by the well, the one the boy pointed out, he couldn't hold it together anymore. Faced with the body, the skull, the boy's accusation, he broke down.
He confessed?
He confessed. Admitted he'd killed his neighbor with an axe during a fight. And yes, he buried the body secretly right there on that specific rocky hill 4 years before.
Wow. The sheer precision of it all, that's what makes this story stick with you, isn't it?
It has to be.
Yeah.
A 3-year-old solved a murder. He knew the killer's identity, the weapon, the fatal wound's location, and the burial spot. 4 specific, verifiable, hidden facts.
So what happens after something like that, when a case completely defies normal explanation?
Well, chaos, pretty much. The sources talk about doctors, religious figures, journalists, everyone flocking to see this kid, trying to make sense of it.
Predictably, I guess, people fell into 2 main camps.
Yeah. You had those who immediately saw it as proof, irrefutable evidence of reincarnation, the soul carrying memories across lifetimes. How else could he know?
And the other side.
The other side clung to coincidence, an unbelievable, astronomically improbable series of coincidences, but still, coincidence. Anything to avoid upending a purely material view of the world.
But bottom line, without the child's testimony, that murder remains unsolved. The body's hidden, the killer's silent, the case is cold.
Absolutely. The child's knowledge was the key that unlocked everything.
Okay, let's just quickly recap those key facts, the anchors that make this so hard to dismiss. 1, identifies the specific killer.
Right. 2, names the weapon, the axe, and pinpoints the exact wound location on the forehead.
3, points out the specific house where the victim lived.
And 4, leads them directly to the precise hidden burial spot on that hill.
Think about the odds of getting all 4 right by chance.
It's vanishingly small. You need 4 perfect guesses in a row about things a 3-year-old couldn't possibly know or deduce, randomly picking the right house.
Then randomly picking the right man out of the villagers.
Then guessing not just the weapon, but the exact injury mark on a body he's never seen.
And then leading everyone to the hidden grave.
The chance of all that lining up randomly, it's effectively 0. It pushes the boundaries of what we call coincidence into something else.
So the final thought for you, listening. If this isn't a case of, as the story goes, the boy who knew too much because a soul, a memory returned.
Then what else could it be?
Yeah.
What other explanation, what mechanism could possibly account for a 3-year-old possessing all those specific hidden details about a murder committed before he was even conceived?
Did he somehow access that knowledge, or was he in some way that knowledge made manifest?
That's the profound question this case leaves us with. And honestly, the sources admit no one could truly explain it.